Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys. Sorry about that little mishap in the first clip. I want to chat with you guys a little bit about two exercises that come from the weightlifting world that are lower skill, phenomenal supplemental lifts that can help us for those of us who have upper back weaknesses. Now, in my case, we know I have some upper back weaknesses in terms of shoulder mobility, like things like rear delts and stuff tend to get weaker than my front delts. Those things which just cause me certain problems, and it's something I need to be aware of. So I need that extra upper back development in general. Okay, and weak thoracic extension or weak T-spine upper back is my limiting factor on max squats. Okay, so this stuff limits me. These are things that I personally have to bring up as weaknesses. And obviously, this stuff is months old, right? This stuff is months old. I'm just that far ahead on informative content. But this is kind of when I started really implementing these at a reasonably serious level, and hopefully I'll still continue to do so. But these are lifts that when we look at them and you watch like the snatch grip deadlift, this is an exercise with an enormously good stimulus to fatigue compared to our normal deadlifts. Deadlifts are very, very difficult to use for hypertrophy. Okay? And it's just owing to the fact that most of the joints involved don't really go through a full range of motion. We put enormous amounts of axial loading on our body. They're hard to recover from. It's very, very hard to use them as a hypertrophy tool. That's why for me, I stick to the deadlift as a max effort and a dynamic effort lift. But the snatch grip deadlift is a different beast because in this case, I'm using something like 50% of my deadlift for sets of 10. And these are hard. Like this is me the first time doing them with sets of 10 was in this workout. These are really, really hard. But what this ends up doing with a lift like this, because of the nature of the snatch grip, it forces you into a very, very difficult position for thoracic extension. And even with a really light weight, it hammers your thoracic erectors, mid traps, lower traps, all of that ridiculously hard. Okay, and it forces you to have to learn better thoracic extension in order to lock it. All right, for those of us who struggle with T-spine strength on the squatting, this is a great benefit. It's a great benefit. Like this is for me a squat accessory. Like I am actually using that as a squat accessory, not even really a deadlift accessory. I'm not saying it won't help the deadlift, but also it replicates a lot of what we get from rows. Because again, I'm really big on pin lay rows, big on rows, which are great for upper back and mid back and all that also. But you get a lot of the same stimulus. Like I feel my lats, rear delts, all that stuff on that exercise tremendously. Like they get DOMs from it, if I noticed. And they get one heck of a pump. And it makes sense because of the snatch grip nature of it. Okay, but again, a tremendously good exercise for people who struggle with upper back in terms of their squatting. And we need to think about that from the perspective of putting meat up there just to make us better at our squat and our bench press. It gives us more stability. The more meat you put up in that area on your back, the further back the bar can sit. And I want people to note back and down are not the same thing. We're not talking about putting it further down your back. We're talking about putting it further back behind your spine because you have more meat to rest it on. Same thing with benching. That whole upper back region gives us a more stable platform to bench from. Right? Pretty important, pretty helpful. In fact, a lot of times what you'll notice is a lot of the best benchers in the world, even the ones who don't even care about deadlift, who do bench specialization, they still have big old traps. Okay, it helps. It helps a lot. Then also you guys will see that I'm doing snatch grip high pulls. So what's up with those? One of the best shoulder girdler developers. And I'll throw out some names of people you guys will know. Christian Thibodeau and Eric Bugenhagen. All right. They're both enormous advocates of using those to build shoulder girdles. If you guys recall, we had that entire debate with the whole above the knee rack pull, and even Boogs came out when Alpha Destiny was promoting it and said, look, it's not that great of a trap exercise. You need to build your shoulder girdle, and I feel like snatch grip high pulls are probably one of the best lifts you can do just for entire shoulder development. And it's true, it is. Christian Thibodeau, very well-known coach and author, also promotes them and getting good at them and being really heavy with them. will build tremendous, massive shoulders. And we're doing so in a way that is quite functional because we're using an explosive exercise to do it. And again, it's an explosive exercise that came out of weightlifting, but it's a lower skill, therefore we're able to use it without a great degree of proficiency. But we get a lot of what we get from that deadlift, right? Except that we're more dynamic. We're not just holding all those muscles statically, we are using them through a range of motion. So therefore things like the side delts, the upper traps, even the biceps, those things all get hit hard. Whereas you're seeing a lot of isometric strength with the snatch grip deadlift for a lot of those muscles. In this case, they're moving. But this combination, if you think about it in terms of what this will do for, again, posterior delts, your entire traps, infraspinatus, even side delts, right? Side delts get hit enormously on this. Again, oftentimes a lagging area for a lot of strength athletes because we don't care about it. A lot of times we're not doing a lot of laterals and stuff. So again, tremendous exercise for that area. And this is older footage. I mean, we'll be curious to see what those areas look like by the time this comes out in comparison. I'm pretty sure my shoulders are going to be bigger and more jacked. But again, snatch grip high pull builds the entire shoulder girdle, trains explosiveness, okay? Trains explosiveness and power. Still benefits from that thoracic extension. Not to the same degree that we get on the deadlifts because it's not necessary, but it helps. So this is a good combination of lifts for people who struggle with that entire area to just bring up. And you guys will notice, I mean, if you look at most weightlifters, what are they known for? Their shoulder development and upper back development tends to be phenomenal. Tends to be phenomenal. And it's not just from doing the Olympic lifts. It's a lot of the supplemental work like this that they do. But these are both exercises that bring a tremendous amount to the table in terms of building up the upper back, building up your T-spine, like your thoracic erectors themselves, training you to have good thoracic extension, which is a problem for a lot of us. It's definitely a problem for me. Okay, and I can admit that. It's one of my biggest weak links. Building up your posterior deltoids, upper traps, mid traps, lower traps, side delts. Okay, this will build all of that up, these two lifts. And I'm not saying they're the only thing we should do, because you guys know me, I do a lot of rowing too right now. I'm real big on pin leg rows and pin leg row variations. But if we want to really hammer these areas hard, okay, these work. And to the point where people will say, well, I want to do this lift or that lift, and it's like, let's talk about front squats and stuff for the upper back. I don't know, you really think that can compete with these snatch grip high pulls? I don't know that it can. I mean, the snatch grip deadlift, I'm pretty good at front squats. And yes, they hit that area. I don't know that they hit it as well as these do. Just my opinion. But these are exercises that you should consider if this isn't weak link for you like it is for me. These are exercises you guys should consider. They'll probably help you a lot. Alright guys, well that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.